Now, we're going to be going through episode 4. Episode 4 100% might be the best episode this. I don't know, but the song, there's a great fight scene. Basically, we officially know, who owns Alice's soul. Rosie does. I think there was a theory on it, or it wasn't confirmed, I think, but because of the song, I think people knew Rosie owned their soul, because I think that song was leaked. I saw the song, but I didn't know it was an actual leaked song. I didn't know it was a leaked song, to be honest. I thought it was like a fan-made song, and I went there, so I was like, oh, I'd heard the song before somewhere. But basically, he goes to Rosie, and from what I can say, Rosie's the reason he's staying at the hotel, but I don't know why Rosie would want that. So Rosie's going to be a more important character, which might beg the question, and might think that Rosie, Rosie told Alice to bring Charlie to them to get her people to the thing. It could also maybe Lilith told Rosie to make a deal with this human, or Lilith told Rosie to make Alice to do this. There's a bunch of stuff that could have happened. I don't know why Rosie wants Alice at the hotel, but Alice basically has a plan to cut off his leash and all that, right? Also, Hosk, I'm assuming, knows this, knows who owns Alice's soul. At least he knows he's in a deal like he is. But basically, I don't know what the plan was to get away or something. But he ends up confronting the V's or whatever, and basically calls them out, and they fight. Thing is, when watching this fight, you can tell, even it's obviously Alistair ends up touching on it, you can tell Vox doesn't fight Alistair alone. He has 3 V's fighting Alistair, and they all get cocky and stuff. They're literally 3v1ing, and they're acting like they're superior in every way. And Velvet's obviously filming the fact that they're 3v1ing Alistair. They're 3v1ing the radio demon. It also begs the question on how Rosie gave Alistair the title of the strongest. But yeah, they're 3v1ing the radio demon. And then obviously Nifty basically picks up Husk, takes him to the field, and basically we get a Husk fight with Nifty, Alice fighting Velvet, Nifty fighting Valentino, Vox fighting Alistair, with them eventually losing. I would say losing. Alistair is injured, and he technically was keeping his own against the other 3. Now, you think that fact that Alistair wasn't injured and was able to use other stuff, this fight probably wouldn't. I'm assuming Rosie will be involved in episode 5 or something. I'm assuming Rosie will get involved in episode 5 or 6. It also makes this episode has so much in it, and we still have 4 more episodes. So I'm excited to see what's going on. Maybe Lucifer will save Alistair. I don't know why. Maybe Charlie will ask Lucifer to ask his dad to save Alistair. I have no idea. It begs the question, honestly. We get to see Hoss fight and all that. It was really great. Hoss, Velvet got mad at Hoss for basically pouring alcohol in him when Nifty threw him. The other bit of this episode was Alistair ends up surrendering, by the way, just to save Nifty. I don't know if he did this intentionally just to save Nifty, or he had his own plans for. But he looked at Bandino in regard to Nifty, and then made a deal with Vox to do that. I don't know why he made a deal with Vox for that. He could have cared for Nifty. He came to care for Nifty more than Husk, but at the very least he wants them both to go. Maybe he had to deliver something, or Husk knows what's up. Husk seems pretty surprised on why he's surrendering though, and Husk did call them people nobody, so I'm assuming Husk was a decent, powerful overlord to call Vox a nobody, right? So yeah, overall, it's nice to get more Husk scenes. I actually have been liking Husk this season. I liked them last season also, so I'm happy every time we get more of him scenes. I hope we get more fight scenes with him, because that little fight scene he had with Velvet was so cool. In my opinion, it was very great. It was so sick, man. It was perfect. But basically, we have the other part of this. I'll get to Alice's backstory later. The other part is we basically have Charlie on the news not learning from her lesson when Vangy says Vox Tech is owned. The news is owned by Vox Tech, right? She literally told him, said, "Oh, I'm going live, so we can't edit it. They can still make you look bad on live TV." Like, it makes no sense. I don't know why they're making her dumb down this season. Not dumb down, but like more stupid. I feel like that's just me. I'm not really gonna talk over this part too much. To be honest, I can't even remember most of the details. But I do like the fact we're getting more new scenes. But other than that, like, it's kind of annoying the fact that like they're making Charlie feel dumbed down, just consistently going into like the Vox's or Vox text like ploy, the V's ploys. It's just annoying in my opinion. And we do get an Alistair flashback on how he made his deal with him alive and well. Like, it was actually really cool to see Alistair alive and well. This like design, I've seen it so many times with fan made stuff, and it kind of follows the same story as fan made, as a lot of fan made stuff has. I don't know if we knew his human design before, but like, yeah, generally I've seen that design so many times from fan made stuff at Hazbin. It's really sick to see it again, to be honest. Really happy to see Valentino, I can't talk, Asda's backstory at when he was live. He basically was a serial killer and killed a bunch of serials, right? And then we ended up seeing him have like a ritual to summon the dead. He basically didn't want to return to hell, go to hell as like a random sinner, as like a weakling sinner, as like a tortured soul. So he ended up calling for a demon, or basically a sinner. I'm assuming Rosie's a sinner. A sinner basically that ends up making him, giving him powers or something. Made a deal basically until whatever Rosie wants is complete. She will basically own his soul. I don't know what Rosie wants, whether it has to do with the hotel or not. But Rosie's also the one to basically make him go off air for 7 years. I have no idea why. I actually do like Rosie as a character, so I thought it was like Lilith who owns his soul. A lot of people feel at first, but I guess it makes more sense for Rosie in a way. Like, we kind of barely saw her last season, but like she's also like she's one of my favorite overlords, to be honest. Like, I hope we see more of Zestral. We saw him a bit on episode 3, just like a clip of it, like with like Serpent's the Baxter's backstory and stuff like that, like history to go. Hope we see more of Zestral, but for that, and we also get a bit of a Vox and Alistair flashback. Not Vox as a human, but Vox in his old TV head. We get a bit of flashback between him and Alistair, and it was great. Like, him basically, looking up to Alistair, wanting to start a team, and Alistair's basically putting him down and just says, "You want to start a team with me?" Stuff like that. And basically, yeah, and then obviously he tries to get Vox riled up while he's imprisoned. He's captured. And basically ends up trying to get Vox to basically just anger, I guess, right? Vox shuts him up, and he kind of hacks into, his radio hacks into the radios around the Vox tech, and basically says, you have not changed, you use other people for your power, all that stuff. And basically we get a new song of "You Are My Pet," I guess. Don't you forget, you are my pet. Well, not his pet, but you are my prisoner, or something like that. Or my puppet, I think it said. That's just basically a reprise of the song we got earlier this episode. We did get a Nifty song this episode. That song was fun, but it's not like amazing. It's just her like fantasizing about killing bugs. But the reprise of like "You Are My Pet," I don't know the song's official name, but "You Are My Pet," that's the lyric I remember, was pretty good, to be honest, with Vox. I'm gonna probably make a bunch of edits using that song. I actually do like Vox's, and that's the thing. I'm happy this season we are getting a couple like flashbacks or stuff. We've got 2 flashbacks of people in hell, like their hell flashbacks, not like upper flashbacks. We do get one upper flashback of like them of Alice as a human. We get a flashback of Vox and Alice's history. In both of this in this episode, which is actually super great. I'm actually so happy we got both flashbacks. Like, this episode is going crazy. Honestly, I actually can't fault anything like this episode. The only thing I can fault is the news thing, which I didn't enjoy much. But other than that, it's not really that thing, and I feel it doesn't even deserve to bring this episode down, in my opinion. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 episode. Enjoyed it a lot. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, Brave's the review in episode when I was reviewing episode 3. Basically, did I even say what the episode was called? This episode is called It's a Deal, basically, with making a deal with Vox. I didn't say what the episode was called. I was waiting for this episode to come out. This week actually went quite fast, for like this episode to come out. It went quite fast. I was making a bunch of videos, but it went quite fast, so I'm actually happy. It is crazy. We still have 4 more episodes to go. Okay, now I had to take a break between the last 3. But now my overall thoughts on this episode, like I said, 10 out of 10, really good episode. Hope we see more. Like, take on this episode, I hope we see more like Hoss fights, because obviously Hoss like fighting looks so sick. I like the fight in episode 4 of season 1. I like it. Like, actually, I just remember this is his episode was in episode 4 of season 1 last time, I think, right? And he also had an episode this time, season 2, season 2, episode 4. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. I don't know how long Alistar is going to be imprisoned for or whatnot. He could be in prison for the rest of the season. I don't know if I like that. Like, by the rest of the season, I mean like till episode 8. Because we obviously know name and titles. I don't like him being in prison, but at the same time, it gives more of a dynamic. More like a back and forth between Vox and Astor. If probably Vox pulling the strings, by pulling the strings being the main one, like taking the lead of conversations, while Astor had twist words and stuff like that. Yeah, and then Vox obviously bragging about how he himself overpowered Astor, even though literally, I feel like he even mentioned it in like the song season 1, which is a nice callback. Is Vox as strong as he before, or is it based on his support? Basically, the V's, he literally is nothing about the V's. I don't think the V's themselves aren't like the strongest like demons or sinners, right? They're clearly not the strongest sinners. They have to have a 3v3, a 3v1 against Alistar. Even though Alistar is the strongest Overlord, we don't technically know that. He has a full Zestro and stuff. Although he is the strongest Overlord, probably known, at least, at the very least, Overlord doesn't necessarily mean royalty. Like, even Rosie calls us out, says, you're the strongest Overlord. You're not the strongest being. Like, you thought you could fight against an Archangel, aka Adam, and that also means Lucifer would probably beat Alistar relatively easy. Maybe not easy, but relatively easy. And it also makes the question, because we know in the trailer Lucifer does fight. Lucifer could get injured or even die, just judging by the fact that they know how to kill angels now. Maybe they'll like sacrifice a bunch of thousands of sinners to kill Lucifer, but like or injure him. Like that could be a possibility. What happens? Because relatively, if they go after Charlie, there's a chance Lucifer may jump in and save Charlie and get injured in the process. I don't know what will happen. Overall, I'm excited for the next 2 episodes, and this is actually got me really hyped. Songs in this episode, great songs. I love the Rosie song. I love the fact we brought Rosie back. I feel like Rosie will be more in more episodes. Maybe Rosie ends up breaking free Alistar because she needs something from him. But I wonder what Alistar's planning, because it does seem like he's planning something with the fact that he said that's a great idea, that's a great plan. He's probably going to try to pull the strings, and by the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if Alistar's deal with Rosie ends up getting broken, or if he ends up completing the task Rosie set for him or something, and he ends up getting his soul back. And with Alistar's soul back, he'll end up having more power, and obviously more freedom to do what he wants, which would be like terrorizing, enjoying, and having more fun in hell, I guess, right? That's like what he did as a human. I don't know if he'll still enjoy the same fun as he did as a human, but I really enjoyed Alice's backstory too. It was really nice. I feel like most people really knew he was a serial killer. It was kind of, I don't know if it was confirmed, but it was realistically known throughout the whole community. I enjoyed the Alice's backstory, really great. Vox's dynamic was also perfect. I am waffling a lot now, but like I said, 10 out of 10 episode, a really great episode. It might be my favorite episode this season, and I don't know how it compares to the other episodes of other seasons. I'll probably do a ranking at the end of this, when all the episodes are out, or find like episodes like what from worst to best at the end. We'll have to see what further you see as I subscribe, do great stuff, and bye guys.